All right, so I've been getting a lot of questions about which variants to get or which options of a variant to get whenever these retailer exclusive books come up. And the short answer is get whatever you want. Whatever, if it's for personal, get the thing that speaks most to you. That if you wanted a graded book, you get a graded book, a little more preserved, a little more archival. If you just want the book to have it, go ahead and get the regular set. It really depends what you want. For quick flips, I personally like to go for ungraded books just because if it's a more time-sensitive flip, I can get them out of my hands quickly. If it's something that would do well long-term, I can go ahead and send it for grading myself. And it also depends on your patience level and how much you want to invest and how much you are hoping to get back. Again, like I said, for me, the best flips are the raw book flips just because I can get them out of my hands as soon as possible. Just because they get to me faster than books that are going through the grading process, especially signature series. But I'll get into that in a second. So, starting off, you always have your raw books, almost always. There will be different occasions where that's not true. But for the most part, you have your raw books. They'll often be advertised in a set. Those are typically the best to go for, primarily because you'll have something like this. You have the 300 to 50 ratio. You'll have 300 copies available of this You Promised Me Darkness with the trade dressing here at the top. And then you'll have 50 copies available of the Virgin variant, which is completely devoid of the lettering and such. And it usually has a little bit more to the artwork available. This one has this little eyeball thing up here, whereas over here it's covered by the title. The coloring is a little darker. It's a little more broody. It's, in my opinion, a little bit nicer than the trade dress. So people often pay a premium for that. Typically what you can do is or what I do, is I sell the Virgin variant at the premium, and I get to keep the trade dress for myself, for my personal collection. Beyond that, for this one we have different options. The only ones that matter are up to the CGCs. So you will have the trade dress CGC. You'll have, again, the trade dressing. You'll have the title of the book, usually the author and the publisher with the title number. And then it becomes encapsulated in this hard plastic. It's given a grade 9.8 just because that's what you're purchasing. And it has the title of the book and a serial number identifying your particular book and why it was graded the way it was usually. You'll also notice the change in the pricing. So this one would be $70 for a 9.8 CGC. Grading yourself typically comes out to $40 to $50 for the grading service and the shipping included to and from CGC back to you. So it's honestly not that bad of a price, putting in that bit of money. The thing is that, again, you have to wait, and the market can change in that time drastically, and that's what I'm not about. Next up is the Virgin CGC 9.8. Again, the Virgin books are the ones devoid of trade dressing. So no title, no author, no publisher. That's usually on the back cover, and then you get this beautiful piece of artwork on the front, completely encapsulated in hard plastic, assigned a 9.8 grade because the book is pristine enough to have earned that. Sometimes you'll be offered these options of metal books. They're quirky books that have a hard metal cover, and there's not much to it beyond that. Those, I don't know they don't always have a specific availability. They're usually quite a bit lower, sometimes 10 copies, sometimes 20. It really depends on the offerings of the specific retailer, in this case, Hive Comics. You usually check socials and such, or else it'll have that in the details. Virgin CGC SS So SS is signature series. That just means the book's been signed by the author, in this case John, or the author, the artist of the variant, in this case John Gallagher. Sometimes they'll offer multiple signatures, but in this case, it is just John Gallagher's signature, and they offer a 9.4 or better grade. Now, that is a bit of a gamble because it's a higher price point at $130, but you do get to offer your book at a premium just because it has the artist signature, usually tactfully placed. There's a handful that will just scribble their signature straight across the image and kind of ruin it, in my opinion. But for the most part, with these exclusive artists, they'll kind of tuck it off into a space that is a little more appropriate, say this blank area up here, or maybe down here under these spider leg things. The other bit is that they will say 9.4 or better. Sometimes you'll have books come back 9.9 or 10.0. Very rare, but the retailers will go ahead and, again, depending on who it is, ship out 9.9 or 10.0 books. Big gamble because you could also end up with a 9.4, which is pretty damning for a modern book, even if it's signed. At that point, it is almost a completely personal copy and a big gamble. So knowing that, you can kind of proceed from there. Again, if you just want a safer bet, you're going with the 9.8s of the Virgin or the trade dress, typically the Virgin. That is, if there is one offered in the set. And the trade dress, more often than not, tends to become a personal copy, whether you want to or not. That is pretty much it. If you guys have any more questions, I think I've offered some insight as to what I do. I know a lot of members have been going heavy and getting the signature series and then graded 9.8s. You can, you don't have to. I made a video on how to send stuff up for grading myself. The prices are changing currently, so you'll want to be aware of that. For full disclosure, I'm pretty sure they're bumping it up just because a lot of people are sending books and trading cards, which is flooding their capacity to grade. Again, if you have any questions, you can comment on the YouTube video, you can comment on the Discord channel, and just let me know what's going on, and I can try to guide you as best I can. That's about it. Thanks.